If you're the one who is experiencing that you're not ready yet, or you don't have the proper gear, or you are facing problems, or you need to learn more, then possibly this video is for you. So we are going to talk about perfectionism. This is the first video in perfectionism. We are planning on having a series of like 10 videos. The reason for that is perfectionism for everyone is different. So that is what we are going to look into. And we are going to dissect the word perfectionism and dissect how perfectionism, or what kind of perfectionism we are facing. I'm not a doctor or something. The reason I can talk about this is that since 2006 I've been working with a YouTube channel. Back then it was a tech channel, and then we moved on to faceless channels. It was a thing since 2012, but now there is a complete change in YouTube wherein most of the channels are faceless and all that. But yes, I've been working through it, and I have felt it within me that how it affects your progress, and what all mistakes I have made, and how those mistakes like create a toll on you if you actually have to do YouTube but you have not taken those steps back then, and how 10 years span affects you, and how 1 month span affects you of not doing the things which you are supposed to do. Let's get started with the very first point. So the first point I'm going to talk about is grades over growth. We have been trained by the institutions or schools or educational system. Mostly all education systems I believe are same. They just change a bit here and there, but most of them have the traditional way of taking examinations and judging you based on how much you can recollect and retain, rather than what you can do with that information. Like when I was in school, uh, even if and the and everything, because I was in India back then, and then English is a measure of intelligence over there. So even if you make any kind of mistake, you were told like anything, told in the sense the word, like you are punished for every single mistake. And the funniest part is, even in English they wanted 100 by 100 marks, or 100 out of 100 marks, which is technically impossible because grammar and everything is too complex. So anyways, the main point here is that schools have treated us or made us such that we think that everything is going to be given to us. We have to go through it, understand it, and then memorize it, and only then we are able to present it, or we will be able to do something with it. But life is completely opposite. Life does not work that way. You very well know all these things, but the thing is, it is just that when you are going through something, or when you are in that particular event of from here, if we say there is starting a video, and here is publishing the video or making the video, in the this is the process in between. Your brain never comes cannot come up with the idea that you actually have to think differently, because you're that's become second nature to you. Because even in the colleges, most of the time, like 80% or 70% of the portion is remembering and memorizing and recollecting and writing it in a stipulated time, and that is how you are judged based on your grades and all that. And 30% might be practical or something. Even in computer science, they asked us to write programs. Now program is a very interactive thing, and that's the reason most of the college graduates don't know how to program, unless one or the one odd in them is able to like goes out of the way and tries to do programming on his own, or on her own. So this is the problem. So figure it out that this might be creeping in from your schooling days, because everywhere, whether it's sports in the school, if you're not first, you're last. You did not do anything correctly. It is not about incremental changes. So for example, in running you did not come first. There are some kids who are well built and they are athlete by the body type. Some kids they are not, but mostly parents or teachers appreciate them and they don't appreciate the others. So that creates a thinking pattern which automatically states that you are not good enough. This was with always happened to me. I was always last because I was not good with sports in school. So I used to think I'm lacking in that area. So it's not lacking, you don't know that area. You need to practice, you need some guidance, you need improvements. and then you may be able to come like second last, not first. And in third or the fifth attempt, you may be able to come second or third, depending on how much effort you put in. But this is not how we are treated. Even the coaches, when I was coached for tennis, for playing tennis, it was so harsh that like 100 balls I had to hit to the wall. So it's called wall practice. You hit the ball to the wall and you keep practicing. The ground is not level and the ball used to spin. And if I miss one, say on the 95th or the 92nd, I missed one, I had to start from one again. So this is the reason I think we have that perfectionism in us, and it is not good at all, because this is a changing world. And in the last 20 years, if you observe, the world has changed drastically, and it's changing in the last 5 years uh, in such a pace that no one have ever thought of or imagined. So that's the reason I think you should connect the dots, whether this comes from your schooling or not. Now, this is about memorization, which already I have covered, but it's about creative expression as well. Now, there are few parents who are able to appreciate their child, but most of the parents from the middle class cannot appreciate, because they themselves are trying too hard to complete things or do things and take care of their children. But the problem is, I was very good at drawing. So there is this elementary examination which is for drawing, and it improves you and gives you grades. Again, it's the same thing, that if you don't pass that exam, you are not a good painter, or you cannot draw good things. So the same analogy goes everywhere, but it's in different parts of life. So in drawing, I failed my first elementary exam, and the funniest reason was I drew three leaves at one point. Like, this is the point, so I drew three leaves right here. Now, there is nothing wrong with that, but the problem is, in elementary you have to be as realistic as possible in the first exam, and they said that a plant or tree or something, whatever it has to be, cannot have three leaves on one side itself, or at one node itself. So that's the reason I was failed. Now, please understand this. Drawing is something, it's an expression from within. As a child, I don't know what I was doing. I'm not saying that is correct or not, that's a different story, but you understand, this is how the perfectionism is instilled in us unknowingly. Because I was failed in that exam, automatically I assumed that I'm bad at drawing. I stopped expressing myself, and these are all natural expressions. These don't come from somewhere else, from someone somewhere outside. And that's the reason kids are more, or kids or children or teenage children are more, have more questions than answers. And that is the core of like human being. That's what I feel. Because if you don't have questions, you are not thinking enough, you're not curious enough. Curiosity will take you somewhere, but perfectionism will keep you there wherever you are, and it will make sure that you are down the rabbit hole without achieving anything. And then the burden of not achieving anything, that will create another loop of burden onto you, and then it will be more and more unbearable in terms of thought processes. And then you will start finding out different things to exit from that fear, or exit that anxiety, and try something different, like not in terms of productivity, like eating food or something. This is what I have done personally. So please connect this to any kind of expression you have ever come across in your childhood. I cannot go through all the things which I have faced, but yes, in the coming videos, I'll try to connect with the examples which I have, so that I can, or we can actually, or you can technically connect to one of them, and at least remove this chunk of perfectionism from your part. So there, what how I look at perfectionism is, you have multiple small chunks of perfectionism spread across all walks of life and all talks of life. So like in drawing, in understanding, in learning, like I literally had this perfectionism that if I don't read it once and I don't understand it, or I don't remember it, that means I'm the dumbest person around. And this is not like in literal words, this is what I've reversed engineered, or I've reverse engineered it uh, after I spoke to a therapist and all that. That's a long story, I'll share it sometime else. So that's the reason. And to come out of that, I was like 30 years old. I took this course of Barbara Oakley, She is a trainer for Navy SEAL as well. That was on EDX back then in 2006 7. I don't remember exactly, but yes, I took that course, and then that is the time I understood what learning is. Because if learning for me was reading the thing, whether you understand it or not, because this is not coming in the examination, you can skip that part. You can read the part which is going to come in the examination. That does not give you application. That just gives you words which don't make sense to you, and humans don't work that way. Now moving on to the third one, do it right all the time or you have failed. So for example, we have like 6 7 8 subjects, depending on where you get your primary schooling and secondary schooling and higher secondary. So you cannot do right in all the subjects. For example, now in India the parenting is too harsh, and maths and science, you have to know it, whether you understand it or not, you have to score good marks. So I was good at that, luckily, but I was very weak in algebra, but I was very good in geometry. Now, algebra I was weak in because I never understood why to consider x, why to consider y, the letter y, and nobody explained me this. And every time they used to give me some kind of equations, and some kind of plus minus, and y becomes plus, and minus becomes minus. And the reason I'm able to tell you all these things is that I reverse engineered it. After, like, I had to give one competitive exam and I was not able to do anything, and then I drilled down deeper because I was curious enough, and then I figured out that the problem is not in that I'm not studying, or not, I'm not taking the initiative. The problem is that I'm in so much fear that if I don't do it right the first time, I won't have any chance. That is in the examination, but not while you're trying it. But the fear was instilled from so many years, like my complete schooling and college career, that I was not able to understand that these are very simple things. If you understand them, you will be able to express. Because we, like back in India, at least I had two challenges. I was in a missionary school where you get to know English quite early in your schooling, but the problem is the culture is about not about like the real learning, it's about mugging things up. And because of that, what used to happen is that I was not able to understand anything, and my mind was very curious, and to understand each and everything was impossible because nobody taught us how to refer to a dictionary and how to apply that particular meaning to a context which the textbook has. Because I still remember, there is this word respectively is used. So you have two examples prior to this, and then you say that this connection is, so it creates a connection between those two items or those two objects, and respectively is it tells your mind to map the words to those examples or whatever it is. I'm not able to explain it properly, but yes, you get the idea. So I was not able to do that, and I had to first of all remember the word, and then I had to remember the spellings, because they also check the entire answer for spellings. And I don't know whether it's done in the Western education or not, but yes, this was the case. And so this is a different challenge. So now in science, there are scientific words which you come across for the very first time. There are non-scientific words. In mathematics, they are saying this theorem is hence proved. Now I can remember hence from somewhere else because it is used in science as well, but I don't know the word theorem. Nobody taught us what theorem is and why it is used. And they just said that Pythagoras was the guy who came up with the right angle theorem. But there is no connection. There are all these missing dots which I personally was able to connect only after my colleging. I started to read the basic books of physics. There is a book named, I don't know, it's like 2000 pages. It's called Fundamentals of Physics. So it has given very basic examples, and that's the time I came to know that how things work. So this is the problem with the education which we all may have been through, or this is the connection, or this is how you should be able to find the connection. This is not a solution. Please understand that this won't go all together in a day or a night. So even this is my first video. I had to prepare a lot for this lighting which you see. I have the monitor over here, whether should I turn on this light, whether should I turn on the hair light, and I've wasted a lot of time in all these things. But the only problem here is this is coming through, it's not about creating a YouTube video, although this channel is about creating creators confessions, but it's not about creating video. All these things, as I told you, there are these chunks of perfectionism spread across. All these chunks are stopping you from actually creating the video or any subject you're trying to cover, or any information or any kind of things you're trying to acquire in terms of knowledge, not in terms of like materialistic things. So that's the reason I feel that this may be one of the reason that you may be lagging in this field. It's not about you, it's not your personality, it's nothing to do with you as in a person. This is all about how we have been molded by the society. So I hope this video was useful. Please do let me know in the comments about my delivery and anything else, and please ask me questions. If I'm able to help you, I'll certainly will be doing so. So thank you for watching, and thank you for your time.